Of the Squared Circle. I'm Hollywood J. Williams. I'm here. What are you on Twitter there or something?
Yeah, we're getting my phone's blowing up with requests and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah, always.
We're popular. There's this Ruckus, John Zimmerman, by the way.
Always causing the ruckus.
Dangerous Dan. How was your weekend, sir?
Just great. And yourself?
Just beautiful.
All right, enough of you. How are you, John?
I'm wonderful. Thank you very much for the hookup on last Tuesday. We went out to see the Pawtucket Red Sox. They greeted us with open arms. Jacob got to throw out the first pitch. They announced us on the big screen, and it was fantastic. They couldn't have been nicer to us. We got a tour of the whole stadium, press box. We were in there for a little bit, watching the guys announcing the game, and it was just fantastic. And that was thanks to you and you hooking us up. So
Glad you enjoyed it.
yeah, and
Well-deserved vacation.
yeah, it was great. And of course, I'm a Red Sox fan. And
Did you get your paycheck yet?
no, I haven't.
No?
Yeah, we'll discuss that after the show.
Get HR on that.
Yeah, but the Red Sox pitcher had a no-hitter going through 6,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately he lost the no-hitter in the top of the 7th, and then the rains opened up, and they ended up calling the game. So the Red Sox won due to a rain out, but it was fun. We had a really nice time. It's a wonderful stadium. McCoy Stadium is really fantastic. So it's not that far of a ride.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, we're looking forward to going back.
I know Esquavocat's like about an hour from here, so that's not far from there at all.
Yeah, we passed
Right.
the beach there, and it was a good time.
So,
But,
so even Jay could find it with GPS?
yeah. And,
My GPS is working lately.
We
You
actually-
got to admit.
yeah, you're getting better. But
Right.
we got to see Jackie Bradley. He went, I believe, 3 for 4,
Mhm.
and he got called up to the actual Red Sox the following day. So yeah, Jackie Bradley Jr. So he's doing well on the main roster now. So that's
The
fantastic.
main Red Sox roster.
Yeah,
Right.
in Boston proper. So
Mhm.
it's one of those things where you go to a AAA ball club or a AA ball club, and you're going to see tomorrow's stars today, and much like a lot of the wrestling cards that we attend, you're going to see tomorrow's stars today. And if you go to PWA, you're going to Revival Pro, or as our guests tonight represent Veteran Pro Wrestling, you're going to see tomorrow's stars today. And it's just a great way to get out and have a good time with the family. It's reasonable, and and couldn't be more accommodating.
We've had some great time over the last few weeks covering these shows.
Yeah.
Revival Pro Wrestling and their tribute to Eric Newton.
Yep.
The following week with Pioneer Valley, and they also had a tribute to the late great Eric Newton as well.
Yeah.
We were at 2 places at the same time.
Yeah.
Between Pioneer Valley, myself and Dan and Aubrey
Yep.
up there in Hadley, and you at PWA.
Anyway, yeah. 2 weeks
Exactly.
in a row. 2 weeks in a row, covering 4 events.
So we've got a lot of footage to get to. Unfortunately, none of it is ready for this evening. But, however,
But we do have some wonderful guests in the studio, so
Right.
we wouldn't have time to get to the footage even if you had prepared it.
I know in a couple weeks, I think we're going to try with that plan
Yeah.
that we were talking
Yeah,
about.
we're going to have nothing but footage.
We're going to have nothing but footage, and we're going to just show it all in just a one shot. We're just going to let the floodgates loose.
But before we get to our guests, I will say that Dan has organized yet another charitable event. You want to announce it, or?
Sunday, July 12th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Stop and Shop supermarket on Hemingway Avenue in East Haven. The Squared Circle is going to be making our presence known as we reach out and help those in our community. The East Haven Food Pantry and Life Haven, which is a shelter which helps mothers and children. For the East Haven Food Pantry, we'll be collecting non-perishable food items, and for the Life Haven, we'll be collecting women's clothing and children's clothing. So if anybody would like to stop by from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Sunday, July 12th at Stop and Shop on Hemingway Avenue, we'd love to see you.
Well, I remember last time I helped you out right there. That's right in my wheelhouse there. And Jacob and I helped you out, and we collected, I believe it was 4 to 5 shopping carts overflowing with clothing. And it was like right about the crux of winter time. So
Right.
we had like a lot of clothing for the women and children over there. And I couldn't have been more surprised and grateful to everyone that showed up. One lady gave us 2 shopping carts of clothing for the women's shelter there, and it was just heartwarming to see the people come out. And of course, we gathered quite a fistful of cash and 3 grocery carts of groceries.
Oh yeah, and it was, as you can recall, it was warm and toasty that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we shivered to talk.
Yeah.
And last week at the North Haven Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
Yep. We
Myself.
raised, Jay and I were there. We raised $311 and some odd cents, and several shopping carts worth of food to help the North Haven Food Bank.
Which is not too far from where we're sitting right now.
No, it's not that
And you have a blood drive organized as well?
On August 1st, I'm going to be participating in a blood drive, which is organized by the Red Cross in North Haven, rather, at the VFW. It's my birthday, and so my way of giving back is I'm going to be in attendance and rolling up my sleeve and giving some blood.
That's it.
So if anybody wants to come out and join me and make that a successful drive for the Red Cross, as the summertime is a time when the blood donations are dipped down due to folks going on vacations. I'd ask anybody watching this show to come out to that VFW on August 1st and let's crank out the red stuff.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's not something you really think of all the time, but if you need the blood for yourself, if you have an accident, you have a surgery, you'd want us and
Right.
everyone else to
You're very,
participate.
very thankful at the people that donate at that point.
Right,
If,
and they-
if
and they-
unfortunately
and they-
something happens.
And they say one donation can be divided up so it actually can save the lives of 3 people. So just sitting here at the desk, there's 9.
Yeah,
Right.
And amongst ourselves, we could all do a lot of good.
yeah.
I think so.
So, this gentleman here, groceries, clothing, cash, now blood. What else can you give back? What else can you give back,
Well, just got involved with the soup kitchen too, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, no soup for you.
No soup.
No soup for you.
No soup for you.
But,
Are we ready to get to our guests?
oh, God, yes. We are very, very excited. Do you want to do the honors?
This Friday night, it's July 3rd.
Yeah.
It's night before America's holiday,
Yep.
July 4th. We have veteran pro wrestling at the Mystic VFW. That's 60 Stonington Road in Mystic.
Yes.
And we have our guests here to talk about that. And also they're aligned with, it's the Benefit Pit Bull Rescue.
Pug Pit Rescue.
Pug Pit Rescue.
That's pugpitrescuect.org. And it's a wonderful organization. They're rescuing pit bulls and pugs. And unfortunately, they weren't able to bring one of the animals with them this evening, but I was looking forward to that. But you can get out there, and again, it's not only benefiting the Pug Pit Rescue, but also the VFW. And it's just, again, it's just giving back to the community. You're going to get a wonderful event out of it. You're going to get some great entertainment, and it's all for a great cause. And with us tonight, we have 2 gentlemen that are going to be on the card, and we have Leanne Williams.
No relation.
No relation to Jason Williams.
No
our
relation to
own
Hollywood J. Williams, of course.
Leanne Williams is going to represent Pug Pit Rescue, and she'll tell us more about her organization. So without further ado, we have Rescue 911 and TKO and Leanne Williams.
And
Ladies
here they
and
are.
gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Awesome sauce, guys. Thanks for having us here. It really is an awesome thing. Awesome thing that you're doing over there, Dan.
Thank
Awesome thing.
So, Veteran Pro Wrestling, give us the lowdown. How did they get started, and who's involved?
Right. Veteran Pro Wrestling was actually founded by a group of veterans at our local VFW. Veterans and former EMS. I'm a former firefighter. And what had happened was Mike Foley, a U.S. Marine veteran, Carl Nino, a U.S. Navy, Mike Hilbert. It goes down the whole list. They wanted to do something for the community. I belong to the men's auxiliary, so I said, well, what if we did a pro wrestling event? Now, our first event was to benefit a firefighter who had to get his neck fused because he got injured on the job, and he wasn't doing too good with the bills and everything. So a group of us got together and said, well, what could help him in any way? And basically we thought, you know what, I'd like to start doing pro wrestling again here. And we got a group of good guys together, and we came up with Veteran Pro Wrestling, and we named it after the veterans who founded the organization, which were Mike Foley and Frank. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm sorry, Frank. if you're hearing that, Frank.
Hey, that's my bit.
I know,
don't think I
right?
forget
He's
the
the
names.
one that
Come on.
always
I can't
forgets the
remember.
name.
But a group of them did, and
Yeah.
I don't have them off the top of my head, but yeah. So that's how we started, and it was the initial intention was to give back, and then we thought, well, you know, there's a lot of other groups. My cousin Leanne just started a Pug Pit Rescue, and I wanted to help her out in any way I can. She's doing such an amazing job. Every week she's rescuing animals and stuff, so I said, you know, we'll have it benefit this, and we're gonna have a good time. And we're really looking forward to it, actually. So.
And Leanne, if you can fill us in on the Pug Pit Rescue, it's www.pugpitrescuect.org. If you need any information, but you can fill us in on how you got into it, and you're an animal lover and owner yourself.
Absolutely. Animal lover and parent of animals has been a passion of mine since I was a baby girl. But it's always been a dream to actually start my own rescue. And I wasn't affiliated or even knowledgeable about the breed of pit bulls until about 5 years ago. I was online, saw a 100-pound pitty boxer Rottweiler mix that they were going to euthanize in one of the New York shelters. And I fell madly in love with the face of that dog and could not believe that they would put such a beautiful dog to death simply because there wasn't an adopter or a foster. So I started to do some research on the high kill shelters in New York, mostly Manhattan and Brooklyn. And when I was educated enough to find out that they're killing probably 90% of the pit bulls that come into the shelters, I thought, you know, I've been an elementary school teacher for 24 years, I'm a reflexologist, but this is my true passion, to save as many of these beautiful dogs as I can. And I've always had pugs, which are, I think, the coolest little dogs. They have great personalities. But my true addiction is the pit bull. They are the most misunderstood, abused animal, I believe, on the planet as far as dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Because of all their amazing attributes, their strength, their power in their jaws, the muscle band across their heads, their agility, their loyalty, their protection of their owners, all good qualities. Unfortunately, they are abused and tortured and meant to fight or used to fight for those good qualities that are then turned into negative. So it's beyond a passion and an addiction for me to save as many pit bulls as I can, and also to educate the public on what beautiful, amazing animals these are. So that's where my whole idea of getting started. I did some research with some of my best friends in New York. I have to mention Deb Delorio, who's been a total mentor for me. She owns Amsterdog Rescue out of New York City, and I just recently became a 501c3, which is a nonprofit organization. So I don't yet have the ability to pull dogs out of the shelter that are considered NH, which is New Hope only. So if they show any sign of aggression, if they are sick, if they're just not easily adoptable, you have to have that capability to pull them. So our role at Pug Pit Rescue right now is to be the liaison between fosters and adopters and these shelter dogs that, without the fosters and adopters, will be euthanized. So I'm beyond excited about it. We're brand new. We do have our website that I believe John mentioned, and right now we have a GoFundMe out there. We're looking for any donations, because as we connect people with dogs, we need some money to help them with any vet bills that the fosters or adopters have to pay, spaying and neutering, and just everything that goes along with rehoming a dog. So we would love to have you visit our page. We have a Facebook page, Pug Pit Rescue, and as well as our website and our GoFundMe page. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you to my cousin for including us in this event. Rescue 911, compiled with dog rescue, I thought was a really neat idea. So I appreciate being here, and thanks.
Oh, you're quite welcome. That's fantastic work that you're doing, and obviously we can see your passion, and you're wearing your heart on your sleeve there. But it's wonderful, and you know the work that we do that we just went over, and you know you guys are doing. It's great for everyone to give back to the community, and you know we're very fortunate to have what we have, and so many people out there just go about their daily lives and don't think of others, and you know we've become such a me society, and the rat race is really tough. But to take one moment, you know, to give back, or you know, to rescue an animal and bring it into your home, and think of somebody or you know another creature is really well, in my culture we call it a mitzvah. But anyone that is a fan of our show and has seen our show, has seen us interview our next guest, and has seen footage from PWA.
Right, he's no stranger to anybody.
And I believe he's a local boy.
Yeah.
TKO. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And you've got a match on the card versus another veteran of PWA. That would be Jekyll, who was here last week with DR Star. What's your prediction for yourself versus Jekyll? Do you see DR Star getting involved? Because he's kind of always, you know, always a factor.
They are. They're pretty unpredictable. But I'm the opposite. Me, I bring the same thing every night. My matches, my outcome is pretty predictable. I come here and knock people out, and that's what I do best, and that's exactly what's going to happen Friday. I don't see anything else happening.
And can you tell us about the belts that are on the table in front of you?
Yes, I'm here representing Tag Team Champions 911 and I, Star Spangled Butt Kickers, Tag Team Champions of VPW.
Yeah, we've got that the last show. We went against actually it was an ambush actually. Some dude named what's his name? He's kind of a bit of a hack. I'm trying to remember his name. What's your name? Broadway Joe. Broadway Joe, Pearl Harbor match, and we had to do something about it. So we said, all right, all or nothing, man. We'll put the tag team titles on the line and the Susan Tex Green United States title on the line, and we'll see what you can do, bro. And so we had his guys go against us too. So it was, what was it? Richie Rich was in that. Richie Rich, Sheik Ahmed Jordan, and Hercules Horsepower Jones, and they're all part of a thing called Blacklist, and they've been trying to take over VPW for the longest time. So we defended them 3 against us 2, and it was instant like synergy between the two of us.
Excellent.
Him and I, TQ and I tagged prior to this at another show in was it New London? I was in New London, and we went against the it was the Knucklebusters. We went against the Knucklebusters in I guess it's like the first ever tag team boxing match, because Bare Knuckle Burley was in it, and his tag team partner Bare Knuckle Burley is the Bare Knuckle champion, so he figured he can go against TKO. And TKO just went 1, 2, 3. When in doubt, knock him out, and that's what he did.
Nice. And you're going to be facing Richie Rich. He's a former WWE talent, and you can catch Richie Rich versus Bret the Hitman Hart on YouTube. I believe it's a match from Superstars back in the day, and what a hellacious match.
Yeah.
You know, Bret Hart always just brings it, and Richie Rich gives him a run for his money. And you can go catch former WWE talent Richie Rich versus yourself, 911, at Veteran Pro Wrestling on Friday night, July 3rd. Who else is going to be on that card? Because you've got quite the stacked bill here. And let's see. Isaiah Rex are going to be going against Sheik Ahmed Jordan
for the Veteran Pro Wrestling Mike Foley Memorial Championship. One of our founders, Mike Foley, and I now remember the other founder, Frank Church.
Frank, there he is.
U.S. Army, I got you. So one of our co-founders, Mike Foley, who was a very dear friend of mine, passed away 2 months after that show. He walked me to the ring. It's just very. It's gonna be a very emotional night because we really miss Mike.
Wow.
And he was a huge fixture in the at the local VFW, and so we're gonna honor him by naming the title after him. So Sheik Ahmed Jordan's going to be going against Isaiah Rex. Paul Sevier, who's also one of the Star Spangled Butt Kickers, is going to be teaming up with
Akani.
Iconi, yes,
Yep.
the Native American warrior. And they're going to be going against Travis Funk and Phantom. No title, just we wanted to try him out for like a tag team because TKO and I just wanted to just try singles out for a bit.
Yeah.
So they're going to defend our name at least. And Paul Sevier is actually a ex-military, he's a veteran, Army veteran.
Yep.
Served three tours in Iraq, was an Army specialist. And so it's great that he's, with what he's contributing. He actually just, the last show, Walter Bad News Swan, who's now our current commissioner, won the official Ox Baker Championship Cup. Megan Baker, Ox Baker's daughter, officially gave us the okay to utilize that because she thought it was a good cause, and Ox was actually a Navy veteran.
Yes.
And so Walter won the cup, but it was a battle royale, and Paul Sevier was the second to last in the ring, and basically he's going to pass down the Ox Baker Championship Cup. So basically that means it's kind of like a Money in the Bank thing that can cash in any time
Nice.
for a title shot. So Narcisco Rex is going to be going against Nate Nastic, two of Kevin Landry's guys, and they're really up and coming. One of my favorite matches that night was watching the brother versus brother match. It was Isaiah versus Narcisco for the VPW Light Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. And that goes to our, not to interrupt you, but that goes to our saying that, you see tomorrow's stars today. Here's two young gentlemen that are in the ring, and you're going to see them. They're at Mystic at the VFW hall, and you really don't think much of it until a year from now, 6 months from now, you see them on television with Ring of Honor, or you see them, and a lot of the gentlemen that you see in the independent circuit eventually end up either at Ring of Honor or TNA or at the big boy in Stanford there, the WWE. And here's an opportunity for a family to get out there without the exorbitant WWE price tag.
Exactly.
To get out there and see up and comers, and it's much like going to the ballpark and you see. I remember as a kid in West Haven seeing Dave Rigetti pitch at the West Haven Yankees. And the next thing you know, he's an all-star.
You could say, you could
in
say
New
to
York.
yourself 15 years from now when Narcisco Rex is headlining WrestleMania that you saw him first at Veteran Pro Wrestling.
That's my point exactly.
Narcisco's phenomenal because he's this guy who's a lot smaller than many of the wrestlers. And that's why the board of directors, and it's actually a board of directors for VPW that's consisted of the founding members, decided, okay, well, and I expressed this, okay, if you have like a 300-pounder versus a 150-pound man, it's kind of an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
So rather than having a heavyweight go against a light heavyweight, cruiserweight, why don't you just split them up into different categories? I said, let's just have a light heavyweight, and it works well that way. I mean, it's just more evenly matched. So he's an amazing kid because I'll watch him, and you wouldn't think at first he's able to do all this stuff, but he did a moonsault off the top rope, and this guy is like a little fella, and you would never expect him to do a moonsault off that top rope.
Yeah, to some of the smaller guys, Daniel Bryan being, the prime example, comes up and he doesn't fit the mold of the Hulk Hogan's or the
No.
Ultimate Warriors, but
He's not. He doesn't look like a champion should.
but he's highly entertaining, a phenomenal
Right.
athlete, and one of my favorites right now is Dickie Moon over at PWA. He's not large in stature,
No.
but he's got heart, he's got the moves, he's got the action, and it's just amazing to watch him, jump around the ring. And his match with Azrael, 2 weeks ago, was just just off the charts. And I don't think there's anyone as big as Joseph von Schmidt is, and I say that was probably one of the top 2 matches of the night, being Troy Stevens and Amazing Red.
Of course.
But the smaller guys that aren't the jacked up, muscle-bound guys of the Ultimate Warriors and the Hulk Hogan's have a lot to offer, and I believe Heyman really brought that out in ECW days with the cruiserweights, and bringing in like a lucha style and guys that offer something different than just a slugfest in the middle.
WCW likes to take credit for all that.
Yeah.
And it was really Paul Heyman with ECW
absolutely.
bringing them first.
Absolutely.
And then after that, Bischoff obtained Rey Mysterio. and
Right.
I wouldn't say
went to
obtained. He kind of stole them.
Yeah.
Stole
Well, bought him.
Yeah.
Hey, come over here. We'll give you we'll give you a nice contract. We'll
Yeah.
give you more money.
But the point being,
Right.
some of the smaller guys put on just as great a match, if not greater,
Right.
than some of the bigger guys. And and that goes to the UFC too. When the UFC started out, they had a 150-pound guy versus a 250-pound guy, and the UFC never would have lasted with that formula. And then they broke it up into weight divisions, much like boxing had, and
Right.
now it's a successful phenomenon. And not only the UFC, but our friend Andrew Calandrelli on Spike Television with, come on, help me out here.
Marissa,
Yeah, with Marissa. No, the organization. that-
UFC.
no,
Who's he for? Bellator?
Bellator. Thank you
Bellator.
very much. As I said, I'm terrible with names for the Bellator brand as well. And separating it into a more fair division of weight classes is definitely a great formula to go with.
And you get the better match. You really do, honestly. So pretty much, and there's actually going to be a mystery match. Actually, it's rumored that there's an individual that's going to be coming in, and it's talking about like animals and stuff. I guess some person's might be bringing in a 10-foot boa constrictor.
Oh.
So I don't know who it's going to be, but yeah, I don't like snakes.
I do.
I'm sure you do, but I
Not so sure about snakes myself.
yeah, I don't like it.
If it was a garden snake, I probably wouldn't.
It's a garden
care.
snake, no problem.
Being in this industry, we've met a few snakes in our day, and a few dogs.
Oh,
Hey now.
oh.
But at any rate,
But
yeah, the entertainment level on your show is just through the roof. You've got a little bit of something for everybody. Are you gonna bring the dogs? Are you gonna let the dogs out?
yeah,
I would
who
love
let the dogs out?
I would love to bring the dogs.
Yeah, you can bring them.
One of the things I didn't mention before I meant to mention is, although my rescue is called Pug Pit Rescue, that just happens to be my 2 favorite breeds. We are an all-breed dog rescue. So our goal is to save any dog from a shelter that's homeless. As long as we can line up a qualified foster or adopter, we would take in all dogs. So a lot of times there's a misconception that if you breed specify your name of your rescue, that you're only going to take in those breeds. We've found, or I've been volunteering as a dog rescuer since probably, as I said, I was a little girl. But in my rescue so far, we've managed to rehome 30 dogs out of New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, and then rehome them in Connecticut and some of the tri-state areas. So I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that we are an all-breed dog rescue, not just pugs and pits. That just happens to be my 2 favorite breeds.
A friend of mine, Fred Hill, has two beautiful huskies, and he's rescued many huskies throughout our history together, and that is his passion. So if you know of any huskies, he's always in the market to rescue another husky. And his dad, Fred Sr., actually has greyhounds, which he's rescued from the racing business. And if you go into his backyard, when he lets the greyhounds out of the back door, they've created a track around his property, and you can see like the wear mark from the greyhounds, because that's just what they were bred for. And as soon as they get out the door, they just run the circuit, and it's just amazing to see them. And they're beautiful animals. The huskies that Fred has rescued have been just absolutely gorgeous. He had like a white and gray mix with just the bluest cobalt eyes that you just like a wolf, just gorgeous. And it's just a beautiful breed of dog, and he's rescued, like I said, several throughout the years that I've known him. I've known him for 30 years now, and that's his passion. And his dad has rescued several greyhounds.
I think that people need to, there's still a lack of awareness out there as to the types of animals. Sometimes people have the stereotype that if it's a shelter dog, it must be sick, it must be aggressive. It's not the kind of dog that you could bring into the home as a family dog. And that really is a huge misconception. There are so many beautiful dogs, family dogs, dogs that are good with kids, good with cats, good with anybody, and they're dying. They're literally dying to get out. If you go visit a shelter and you see these beautiful dogs in, a small crate, many of them go what they call kennel crazy, because they've been dumped by their owners. They've probably been with a family, although it may have not been the best family. They could have been neglectful or even abusive, but that's all they've known. And they go from living in a home, sometimes there's children, and pit bulls in particular were known as the nanny dogs. They love kids. And then all of a sudden they're in a scary shelter, and they seem to sense that there's a lot of death going on in that shelter. They get dragged down to the youth room, and they will euthanize anything from a puppy up to a senior dog. So the awareness needs to get out there that if you visit a shelter, if you go on a Facebook page, visit any of the rescue sites, there's a beautiful dog just dying to be your best friend and be your family pet. And I truly believe there's something special about a rescue. There's so much gratitude from that dog. I mean, all dogs are amazing. They're all full of love, unconditional love. But when you rescue a dog, you can tell by the look in their eyes and the amount of love that they give back, they know you're their savior. They know you've saved them, and they are beyond grateful. And I always say, if you make it through this life without having rescued a dog, you completely missed a big part of why you were here. That's how passionate I am about it.
And TKO and I have been talking about this a lot, and we were thinking about like sports figures and stuff, and the subject matter of Michael Vick came up.
Right.
And remember I was telling you, Pete Rose is kicked out of the Hall of Fame. He's banned for life.
Right.
For gambling.
Right.
But Michael Vick's allowed to play football, and he murdered dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
absolutely. I understand you saying that, but I totally disagree with the allegedly. I mean, there is so much proof, pictures, statements, admissions
Right.
It wasn't just dog fighting. If the dog did not perform, there was electrocution, there was hanging, there was drug abuse, just really horrific, evil acts upon these beautiful animals. And the fact that you hear people say, well, he did his time. I'm sorry, there's no rehabilitation for someone that can torture the most beautiful, innocent animal on the planet. And the fact that our kids are meant to look up to him as a hero, as a role model. They're selling Michael Vick line clothing. It's just, I agree with Chris. It's hard to believe that people have been banned from a sport for life over an addiction, which may not be a controlled thing.
Right.
Torturing dogs is completely a controlled
I'm
thing.
in total agreement with you there. Yeah, I mean the Pete Rose thing, versus Michael Vick, and some of the other, allegations that are out there. Myself, A-Rod, and
Oh, yeah.
and the whole Balco deal, and what allegedly Pete Rose did really didn't, change the outcome of the sport.
No.
But what some of the gentlemen are doing, not just in baseball, but is affecting the outcome of the sport. And something that Michael Vick did, yeah, there is no restitution. There is no conscionable, effort to.
You could be an entire reflection on your whole team, maybe.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
doing things like that.
And I myself don't.
Right.
Don't support that, and I wouldn't buy a Michael Vick jersey, or support him in any way. But that's my choice, and I can't call for a ban on something like that. But as you said, some people have their children look up to these figures. I try to be a role model for my children, and don't allow them to idolize, false idols. And it's fun to go to the games. It's fun to go to the wrestling. But at the end of the day, we're all men and women, and we're all responsible for our actions. And to look to somebody else, especially someone that you don't know personally, to be your guide and to be a mentor to you is not really okay in my book. Look up to a gentleman like this that you see every day and is out there making a change in the world and doing things, and like yourselves, here you are, somebody that we've met and we can talk to face to face, and you're doing such a great job with the animals. And these two gentlemen here that are raising money for the VFW and your organization, and are out there, doing stuff every day. Firefighters, EMS, soldiers, and the people that actually are out there protecting our country and protecting our lives and helping us on the ground every day. Whereas, these guys are getting paid multi-millions of dollars to be, sports figures, and they can't even conduct their, their own personal business.
Well, and it's like what you're talking about right there reminds me of, and you guys did a special tribute to Mr. Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah,
Of course.
And he was the American Dream. And he was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And the spectacular thing about him was he was an average man that did above average things. So somebody who just does a charity, it goes above and beyond their what they're supposed to do. And that's what we should really be focusing on. Not so much somebody who goes in a wrestling ring or wears a superhero cape. It really shouldn't be that. It should be the quality of the individual.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, for instance, there's a motorcycle group that's helping us with this event. They're not asking for anything. They're not asking for any money. They're not asking for anything like that.
Yep.
And they're helping us promote the event. And in return, we're helping them 2 days after with one of their charities.
Yes.
And that's going to be July 5th at the VFW, at the same place.
Yep.
They're going to be doing something for the New London homeless shelter. There's a lot of kids that are there.
Yes.
That can't afford presents during the holidays.
Right.
And so basically, it's going to be an auto show, and
Yep.
we're going to raise money or get money to
We have a call.
be able to purchase them.
We have a call coming in.
Go ahead.
Interrupt you. Talk.
Sorry to interrupt
What?
you.
Yeah.
Go. You're live on the Squared Circle.
Hey guys, it's Aubrey.
Hey, Aubrey. How are
Aubrey.
we doing?
How's our contributor reporter doing tonight?
Good. I'm actually, I'm actually busy today. I just wanted to call in and check about my boys.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sitting in last week in my absence. You did a wonderful job.
You're welcome. Anytime.
I watched the show. It was highly entertaining.
Oh, it
The
was.
normals were fantastic.
It was
Oh, yeah.
lots of fun.
I see you're sporting a new tattoo, Aubrey.
Oh, I had a photo shoot yesterday, and I had two tattoos on both arms.
Yes,
They're not real.
they're temporary. Yeah, I was hoping. But yeah, those photos are fantastic. You're such a gorgeous woman that it's unbelievable.
Yeah, the tattoos and the pictures were to promote Cloud9Party.com.
Ooh.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what the photo shoot was, and I thought I'd share it with you guys.
Cloud9. Say it once again.
Cloud9Party.com.
Cloud9Party.com. Well, every time you're around, we're on Cloud9, honey.
That's it.
You guys are crazy. Alright, guys, I'm gonna go back in, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you very much.
Will do. Thanks.
Aubrey St. John, frequent contributor and co-host.
Exactly.
And she's gotten us some wonderful interviews and hooked us up with a lot of great people. But getting back to Death Masters Motorcycle, Car, and Bike Show to raise money for the children of the London Homeless Shelter. And that's getting them gifts for the Christmas time, the holiday time.
Holidays, yeah. A lot of the kids can't afford presents, so and I'm actually a member with them right now. They do a lot for the community, and talking about Pitbull's getting a bad rap, bikers get a bad rap
Yeah.
too.
Well, they have that whole show.
Yeah, like Sons of Anarchy and stuff. It's really
That's
not
only one view.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's really not like that. They're actually it's more like a family, and they're really kind. They really just want to do stuff for the community. That's part of the reason why they joined a
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
But they get this bad rap of they're horrible individuals and stuff that's happened in Texas, and that's none of that stuff's real. It's like if you believe everything in the news, then you kind of close
Well,
mind.
I mean, the news is a money-making organization.
Yeah, it is.
And they're there to sell advertising. They're selling their newspapers
Shock
and
factor.
magazines, and and get ratings so that they can sell ads. So
The bad apples out there only account for a very extremely small percentage.
and here in New Haven,
Right.
we have the Hole in the Wall gang, and they help a lot of the local
Right.
charities and the children's foundations and stuff like that. And as you said, the media really just hypes up the negativity in the world, not just in the motorcycle gangs, not just in
wrestling.
in wrestling, but in everything. And negativity,
Right.
it seems on the news sells.
Well, I think PWA did a show recently. You were mentioning it to me.
Yeah.
What was it for?
They did several animal shelters.
Yeah.
We were at the event.
Animal rescues.
over at
Bikers.
yeah.
Bikers
You know.
against animal cruelty.
Yeah.
Yeah, PWA is affiliated with them, and they did Adopt a Pet 2 weeks ago over at
Executive and Universal.
Executive. Thank you.
Right.
That's cool.
On Universal Drive.
That's cool.
And there were several animals there that were adopted and available to be adopted, and that was a successful event.
It was.
And
We tried to get Jay adopted, but
Don't listen to him.
but yeah, there's so many organizations out there, and to be involved with at least one of them, is as again in my culture we call it a mitzvah. It's it's a good deed, so to speak, and you need to get out there. And the six of us sitting here are so fortunate to have what we have, and to not give back is just a sin, and it's unconscionable.
There's going to be a couple celebrity guests that night.
Okay.
And actually, one of them's been training with TKO for his recent match, because he recently just went against Jekyll at the last PWA show. If you want to talk about that, the guy's name's Cassius Chaney. Cassius Chaney stands about 6'7". He's got a ridiculous reach. He just turned pro. He's a pro boxer now.
Yeah.
And he's knocked out two of his first two opponents in the first round.
Nice.
Ridiculous hook. But he's working with TKO. And why don't you tell me what you guys have been going with? I don't know much about boxing, so.
Yes, Cassius is another knockout artist, so naturally we're good friends. Like you said, a celebrity guest, the boxer, is going to be accompanying me to the ring. As you mentioned earlier, last show we had a little run-in and our match got interrupted. And I already know that Jekyll's going to try to pull that this time. So I asked my friend to come along and escort me to the ring and just have my back. And I think they'll be wise to behave.
Yeah, he definitely will.
What's that Jekyll or Jerkle, as you were calling him last week? Once he's taken out of that straitjacket, there's no telling what he's going to do.
That's right. I understand he was making fun of my town, Nishtik. He was talking about the whales and stuff, and I saw that the last show. And
Well, he's got plans to steal a
He
whale.
wants
he's
to
going to steal a whale.
He wants to steal a whale from New London. I don't know how he's
You know
gonna
what he
pull
said?
that
He
off.
said, I remember he said something about stealing a killer whale. There's no killer whales in New London. You only got beluga there, Jekyll. So, but
He's
yeah,
going to have to settle for that, then, I guess.
he's just going to have to settle for that.
You know, and you mentioned, I think there was another boxer named Cassius. I'm not really sure though.
Muhammad Ali?
There you are.
There you go.
Mama named Clay. I call him Clay.
Yeah. He was
A little Eddie Murphy
not-
reference there.
Yeah, oh yeah, from, what was that?
Coming to America.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Remember the barbershop scene?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Mama named him Clay. I call him Clay. Fantastic. But yeah, hey, what a great name to have if you're a boxer, is Cassius. It's just fantastic. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, he actually used to be a basketball player. He played high school basketball in Old Lyme.
Okay.
And nicest guy in the world. He does a lot. He also does a lot for the community. He has a mentor program. He mentors a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And
That's very important.
He'll bring them to like on his own money. He'll bring them to like basketball games, CES boxing events, and he's just a real nice guy. And yeah, we're just really pleased that he's going to be at that show. Yeah, there's going to be. I'm told one of the senators is going to be coming for this, so it's going to be a nice time. But yeah, that last match you did, what happened? What was the outcome for that? You and Jekyll?
You versus Jekyll.
Yeah.
Of course I won, but of course I won, but
Humble.
yeah, I try to be humble.
Quiet. Everybody says it. It's hilarious.
Of course I won, but you know, like I said, you really can't tell with these people. They're very unstable, so that's why I asked Cassius to come to the ring with me, and like I said, have my back. And if anything goes awry, I know I got somebody good in my corner.
Yeah, 'cause you know that DR Star is really unstable, and you never know
He is.
where he's going to be and what he's going to be doing.
He sounds psychotic.
Oh, yeah, he's quite the, and he's got another.
He was telling me
protege,
about that last week, this Amigo
Montoya.
Amigo Montoya.
His name is Amigo Montoya. You killed his father. Prepare to die.
Oh,
That sounds like
I
another.
am the Brute Squad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I gotta look at a
Sounds like
picture of
another
this
Andre the
guy.
Giant project.
Yeah.
I gotta look at a picture of this guy. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he as big as Jekyll or is he bigger? Or?
I would say he's very similar in stature to Jekyll.
Really?
Yeah. I think they would make a great
How tall is Jekyll?
tag team.
5'11".
I don't think he's.
Yeah, he's under 6 foot because I'm 6 foot and he's shorter than I am. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, again, we're going back to that size. You know, size doesn't really necessarily
No.
matter in wrestling anymore.
No, it doesn't.
You know,
This is, I don't know. That guy freaks me out. I get that makeup thing, and it just freaks me out. looks like a thing of Oreos blew up in front of his face. It's really strange.
well, I'll ask both of you. The standard question is, who inspired you to get into wrestling, and you know, your dream match, if you can, you know, anyone in their prime against you. And we'll
Right.
start with TKO since he's been quiet for a little while there.
Man, when I first started watching wrestling, you talked about it before, how ECW brought in the smaller guys. That's when I started watching wrestling. It's definitely in the WWE, people like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Perfect, definitely Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
I actually looked up to the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, as far as like a speaking at least. He was a great talker, probably the best.
Yeah.
So those are people I looked up to coming up. And dream match, I always loved The Rock, always looked up to him.
Yeah.
So I could tag with The Rock, but you didn't go one-on-one with The Rock. Go one-on-one with the great one.
One with the great one.
Nice.
That'll be a dream match.
Would you say he's your favorite of all time?
Yes, definitely.
I will go with Rescue 911.
Yeah. You know, I got I got 3 if that's all right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And I got to be trained by one of them. Actually, this title right here is the Susan Tex Green United States title. Susan Tex Green trained me. She was down in South Carolina. She had Tully Blanchard's old ring.
Oh, wow.
Hard as a rock. First day of training, she said, "I want you to hit me." I'm like, "I'm not gonna hit you. You're a woman." That was a bad move on my part because basically what happened was she gave me a good punch to the jaw here and it popped right out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh God, it hurt." He says, "I told you to hit me, you Yankee." And she took my jaw and popped it back in. "Now get in the ring and bump 300 times." I'm like, so she's number 1,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And I got to tag with her down in Mobile, and that was a good. So when you say dream match, that's kind of one of them, but it's not
Yeah.
quite there.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes, definitely. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, love him.
Yeah.
And my dream match, my favorite tag team of all time was the Killer Bees.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I got to meet Brian Blair. I got to become very good friends with Brian
Oh,
Blair.
sweet.
And I did a world record last year. I pulled an SUV for a mile and a half, and I did it for the Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation.
Oh.
And when he found out, I did an interview with the Day newspaper, and I said,
You were on Channel 8 too, weren't you?
"Yeah, I was on Channel 8."
Right.
And
Remember that.
I did an interview in the Day newspaper. I said, the one thing my dream would be to tag with Brian Blair just for one match.
Yeah.
He's just a stand-up guy, amazing technical wrestler, not a huge guy, but just a great talent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just to tag with him would be a huge honor. And he had mentioned it once. And he said, "If that's what you really want to do, I got an extra pair of trunks." So, but I gotta lose some weight. That's just not gonna happen
And
right
of course,
now.
his partner was Jumpin' Jim Brunzell.
Jumping Jim Brunzell. So I've been working on that drop kick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Broke my hip, but we're still working on the drop kick. So. Yeah, so those are the. I'm sorry, I went to 4, but
No, that's fine. That's fine. You know, it's hard to pick just one.
I
That's,
know. Vince made up all these great wrestlers.
I know.
Well, you know, we kind of grew up. We're all around the same age. You know, we've seen younger days, but we all grew up in that era. You know, the pre-Hulk Hogan era. Really, for me, you know, was really fantastic when Bob Backlund was holding the belt for the longest time, and you know, and the New Haven Coliseum. You guys are local guys, going down to the New Haven Coliseum and hanging outside and meeting Andre the Giant and Snuka back, you know, when he was, you know, in the day, and Magnificent Morocco and
Rowdy
you know,
Piper.
Roddy Piper, yeah, you know, one of my favorites was Morocco and Johnny Rods. I mean, we used to. He was one of the greatest villains of all time, you know, and you know, come to find out, you know, being an adult now, but as a kid, we didn't know that he was training all these guys, you know, and Johnny Rods is responsible for a lot of the guys that came up in the Hogan era, and you know, and I remember seeing the Killer Bees there, you know, and Santana and Martel. Were my favorite, yeah. Yeah, and of course, Alpha and Sika used to walk right over here in the Wallingford Flea Market
Oh yeah.
with the Rock as a baby in their arms. I'm dead serious, yeah.
They're big, aren't they? Man?
Yeah,
Jeez.
Alpha and Sika used to, you know, go to the Redwood Flea Market right up the street every
the
week.
Rock that
and
this
the
big.
Rock was in their arms.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, as a little baby, and it's just amazing the history that we have, like right here, of all of these fantastic people that we grew up watching. But Leanne, are you a wrestling fan at all? I mean, are we just like?
Well, I have started to become a wrestling fan because
Right.
of my cousin, but the only wrestling I remember growing up with was Ric Flair, and hearing, hearing, you know, all of my friends and my guy friends at a bar do the Ric Flair, whatever you just did.
Right, the woo, yeah.
But that and Hulk Hogan, you know, I remembered Hulk, but I'm aging kind of myself. I'm 48 years old, so no, I'm not a big wrestling fan, but I've started to learn a little bit more about how cool and exciting it can be. I attended my cousin's last event, and it was just so much more than I expected. The entertainment value and seeing the fans and just supporting them was so much fun, and knowing, as you said, that it's going for a good cause. It's not just let's get out here and hoop it up and pick our favorite wrestlers and see who wins. It's fun, it's exciting, it's entertaining, and the money they're raising is going to great causes. So I'm really proud of that, and can't wait to attend the next event on the 3rd.
And
Or is it the 6th?
Well, Lee,
That's the third.
No, it's the
All right,
third.
okay.
It's the third.
I don't want to
It's
put it out there.
third.
I thought it was
Friday
the
the 3rd, right.
well, Leanne,
Somebody else screwing up dates.
as we were speaking before with the Michael Vick scenario,
Yes.
there's as you know, if it's been scientifically proven that if you'll abuse an animal, you'll abuse a child.
Exactly.
So I commend both of you folks for doing the work you're doing, both with animals and with children. I have a pit bull that I adopted when she was 2 years old because she was found in Edgewood Park, chained to a tree and left to die.
Yeah.
And the animal control officers could not get to her for several hours because she was that fearful. I went up to her and they were amazed because I was just able to walk up to her cage and give her a bone and like nothing, nothing
Right,
happened.
Right.
To this day, she still has trust issues to the fact that she'll come in and she'll protect Daddy,
Right.
being me. But Jay will tell you, once she gets to know you, she's the sweetest baby going.
Extremely affectionate, but yeah, we hear that story and see that all the time in the rescue world. One of the problems is the breed-specific legislation that's out there now. Landlords are kicking people out and evicting them because of their pit bulls, and insurances are dropping families because of their pit bulls, and it's just so unfair and unwarranted. These are beautiful animals, and it's sometimes you'll hear people say, well, it's all in how you raise them, and I do agree with that to a certain extent. But when you look at the pit bull breed, that breed, as I said before, is very strong, very loyal, very obedient, so they will follow their so-called owner or master, and they will do whatever you ask them to do. And if you train them for evil, that's what you're going to get. But when you hear people say, well, that's with any breed, you do need to have some pit bull savvy. If you're going to take in a shelter dog, you need to know how strong they are. You need to know that they, most of the time, have probably been abused if you've picked them up from a shelter. So educate yourself. Make sure you know that, like I think it's Dan said, there are triggers for dogs that have been abused. You may think, I've rehabilitated this dog and it's the most wonderful, loving, sweet dog, but you do have to keep in mind that we don't know their background. When you hear of a dog that's been abandoned and chained to a pole and left out in the elements to die, sometimes it's about people being kicked out and I have nowhere to go but to a high-kill shelter. But oftentimes it's an abuse situation, a neglect situation. So I know with my own 3 pit bulls that I have, recently we had to put one down. We rescued her at 6 months old. She was so badly abused as a puppy that she had severe trust issues. She learned to love us, but no one could come into the house. And that image is what gets out to the public. Like, oh, a pit bull is vicious. You can't have anybody to the house. At any moment they can attack. That's really not the case. But if you have an abused dog, there are going to be triggers, and they have flashbacks of the abuse. So you may pick up something as simple as a broom, and that dog is going to be fearfully aggressive. But the only difference is, and as I said before, you want to be careful not to say that, oh, it's all in how you raise them. To a certain extent it is. You can make any dog vicious, any dog, not want to attack
We
people
see
or
that
other
with humans,
animals.
right? We see that with humans. You,
Right,
the way you raise your
exactly,
children, you raise,
exactly.
That's it. We have
But-
under 1 minute
Yes,
though.
yes.
Real quick, special thanks to Cindy Lowering for doing all this stuff for us. She's done a lot of
Thank you for having me and let me talk about my pit bull
Of
pug
course.
rescue.
Of course. So
Thank you for having for being with us. It was fantastic.
Definitely. Thank
we were
you, guys.
educated and just a wonderful event coming up. Again, www.pugpitrescuect.org. Get out there if you need a pet. That's the way to do it.
July 3rd, this Friday evening, Veterans Pro Wrestling at the Mystic VFW. Correct?
Yes.
60 Stonington Road.
And you can see the poster on our page.
And just very quick, if attendees wish that are attending to watch the wrestling, and they want to support the organization, I know food costs are extravagant. When they go to that, can they bring a bag of food or some food items?
Absolutely. Back to take a percentage off.
There we go.
Thanks a
All
lot,
right,
guys.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much. This is Hollywood J. Williams. Good night. Good luck. We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Beautiful.